Singh Puri, Petroleum and Urban Development Minister, is joining me live. Dr. Puri, really appreciate your time. The budget has allocated 79,000 crore for the PMAY, which is a hike of 66%, which will ensure that the urban poor get a home. जो छत चाहिए थी उनको मिल जाएगी अपने सर के ऊपर. Do you think this would be a game changer, particularly for the 2024 elections for the BJP?
Maria, first of all, I think that the honest answer is that I'm very encouraged with the provisioning of 79,000 crores. But please note that this is provisioning both for the urban and the rural sector. Equally, you must realize that when Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is implemented in the rural sector, it creates, as you said, employment. It will mean more cement, it will mean more steel, etc. But this is part of an overall approach which the budget takes. Why do you start with 79,000 crores for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana? I would go back to the 10 lakh crores, the increase from 7.5 lakh crores to 10 lakh crores on capital expenditure, which is in fact a 33% increase from 7.5 lakh crores. But what is more serious is that 1,30,000 crore will go to the state governments. The state governments will be able to utilize some of it as conditional and some of it is unconditional for effecting reform, etc. So the budget is growth oriented, it is development oriented, and I think a confident Finance Minister, under the overall guidance of the Prime Minister, has delivered a budget which is in fact an essential part of the roadmap to India becoming a Viksit Desh or a developed country by 2047.
Mr. Puri, has the budget lowered risk factors which are arising out of the global concerns that have been there regarding slowdown, the war in Ukraine, and also the inflationary numbers?
Maria, my take on the global situation, the turbulence and the risk factor, if you give me just half a minute, let me explain this to you. The global uncertainty did not come with the Russia-Ukraine military conflict. The global problems arose essentially before that, because after March 2020, we were in a virtual global lockdown position. The economic activity had come to a stop because of the dreaded pandemic, and many countries had introduced a very strong stimulus packages, some countries as large as $20 trillion. Now if you have an additional $20 trillion chasing the same amount of goods and services, and then there are disruptions in the supply chains, in the labor chain, obviously in a super inflationary situation, people start discussing the big R. The good news is that the United States, which is the largest economy in the world, has started looking much better, and even the European challenges, I think today appear, to commentators and economists, less severe. The winter in particular, it was not that severe. Another large economy started picking up. So hopefully economic recovery globally and worldwide will not face the imminent threats that it was facing earlier. It's not my case that there are no challenges. Challenges there will be. But we are, as an economy, which is the fastest growing economy, growing at 6.5 to 7%, very well positioned, Maria, to brave those challenges and to negotiate forward, which we did very well, both on the energy front. We diversified our sources of supply. We bought from wherever we could. We are increasing the domestic E&P. We are increasing our green transition. We are going into 20% biofuel blending. We are going into CBG in a big way. And the budget today provides all the ammunition that we require for CBG. For instance, the 5% mandatory blending of CBG. Also, that the problem of FOM will be addressed. So I am delighted to see these provisions in the budget, as I am to see the 79,000 crores. But that 79,000 crores also means that, this is ongoing work. It also means that on the rural area, where we need to address some economic activity issues, this will be helpful in that. So the rural economy will be greatly facilitated by this kind of provisioning of resources.
Since you also hold the petroleum portfolio, I want to understand from you, because you had said that the government should compensate oil marketing companies for the financial hit they have taken by selling petrol and diesel at a less than market rates. We didn't hear about that in the budget speech today.
It's my duty as the line minister to give the, to support the requests of the my clients, which are the OMCs in this case. Whilst you didn't see any this thing, I want to remind you, when they said that they were 28,000 crores down because of gas prices, they were compensated 22,000 crores some time ago. Now, this 35,000 crores which is come in today, 5,000 crores is to replenishing the strategic petroleum this thing. And another 30,000 is for capital expenditure and green transition. I mean, now, one part of them may not be compensated, but overall economic activity is going to those OMCs. So at the end of the day, that 35,000 crores will be going there in one form or the other.
Okay, my last question to you, Dr. Puri. The finance minister has highlighted that green growth will be one of the 7 priority areas, which is Saptarishi of this budget 2023. There has been an allocation of 35,000 crore for capital investments towards energy transition and net zero objectives by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The question is this enough?
I was many years ago, Maria, I was taught never to ask a question in response to a question. But I just make the comment, enough is never enough. But I'm encouraged by the 35,000 crores, and I think it will go a long way. It's a very positive contribution. It will be very widely encouraged, because those who are dealing with fossil fuels today are also in the vanguard of making the transition. So I'm very happy with it. But I will not use the word enough, because, somebody will turn around and say, no, but, I should have got 40,000 instead of 42,000. Look, a budget is a serious exercise where responsible people have to make a judicious determination about competing claims. Now, is 10,000 crores enough for the Urban Development Fund for tier 2 or 3 cities? Well, it could have been more, but I think 10,000 crores is very good, and everybody will be happy with it. Plus, if we are talking about a transition from now to the year net zero, our net zero is till 2070. So this is just the beginning. So I warmly welcome it. I thank the finance minister, and I think it's a very positive step in our green transitioning journey.
All right, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time.